Hi guys, my name's Jenna and I'm a master trainer at Club Pilates. And today we're going to be doing a 30-minute mat class, so I hope you guys jump on and enjoy. Shoot me a message if you're following along class. So all you need is a mat, and we're going to go ahead and start by lying flat on your mat. So lay on your back with your arms down by your sides and your knees bent. And we'll just start with some breathing as you guys tune in here. So let your head fall nice and heavy. Inhale through your nose. And exhale, blow all the air out of your mouth, drawing your rib cage in towards your spine and engaging your abdominals. And again, inhale through your nose, and exhale, blow all the air out. From here, we're going to go straight into a pelvic rock. So I want you to posteriorly tilt your pelvis by pressing your low back into the mat, and then slowly peel your hips up off the mat, one vertebrae at a time. Inhale, pause with your hips lifted. Exhale, slowly articulate back down. One vertebrae at a time, so your tailbone's the very last thing to touch. Exhale, bridge your hips up. Focus on squeezing your glutes and your hamstrings here. And then slowly articulate back down, one vertebrae at a time. And again, as you exhale and lift your hips up, I want you guys to think about dragging your feet on the mat closer to you so you feel a little bit more work in your hamstrings and glutes and a little bit less in your back. And then slowly articulate back down, one vertebrae at a time. So as you lift up, focus on reaching your knees away from your head. Find a nice straight line from your knees, your hips, and your shoulders. And then soften through the chest and articulate down one vertebrae at a time. On this next one, we're going to pause with your hips lifted and go into a march. So press down through the hands and elbows. Really feel your triceps work in your arms. Float one leg up to tabletop, and then put that leg down and switch legs. So as you alternate legs, I want you guys to focus on keeping your pelvis stable and still the whole time. So as my right leg comes up, I'm going to try and avoid letting my hip drop. We want the pelvis to stay stable because that will be more exciting later on for class. Yeah, we'll do one more on each leg. And then we'll lower the hips all the way back down and take the hands behind the head for some chest work or for some abdominal work called chest lift. So we'll exhale, lift the head and chest up. Inhale, pause. Exhale, lower the head and chest back down. Exhale, lift. Inhale, pause. Exhale, back down. So as you lift up, let your head be heavy in your hands and try and maintain the space between your chin and chest, opposed to squishing your chin into your chest. Yeah, we want to keep lots of space there. Exhale, lift, and back down. So as you lift up, I want you guys to focus on getting your shoulder blades lifted up off the mat, opposed to just crunching your chin down in towards your chest. Use that big exhale as you lift up. The deeper you exhale with pretty much all exercise, but especially Pilates, the more you're going to feel the work where you're supposed to, so in this instance, your core muscles. Now let's pause with your head and chest lifted, and we'll rotate from one side to the other. So now we're adding rotation, and so as you pass through the middle, I want you to just look at your thighs as you pass through, and do your best to keep your legs perfectly still, because where we want this rotation to come from is the upper body. So the upper body stays still, so you just feel those obliques. We'll do one more on each side. And last one, and then lower the head and chest down. Bring the arms down by your sides. We're going to go back to that bridge idea. So press through the heels and lift your hips up. And then from here, we're going to take your right leg up to tabletop. Lower your hips back down to the mat, and then lift from that left glute. Lower the hips down, and squeeze and lift. And lower down, and squeeze and lift. Press through the left heel. Focus on squeezing both glute muscles together at the same time. Good. Last one. Pause with your hips lifted. Extend your leg to the sky. Flex your foot. Lower your leg down. Point your foot and kick it back up. Flex your foot and lower down. And point and kick back up. Notice that as I move my leg, my pelvis doesn't change positions. Right? So leg is staying stable, pelvis is stable, leg is moving. Last one, pause with your leg up, bend it back down, and lower your hips down. we'll go straight into the next side. So again, bridge your hips up, float your opposite leg to tabletop, reach your toes to the sky, flex your foot, lower the leg down, point your foot, and kick it back up. Flex and lower, and point and lift. Flex and lower, and point and lift. One more time. Should feel those legs working hard here. And then put that foot all the way down. Good. Now we're going to go back to the chest up that we were doing earlier, but spice it up a little bit. So take your hands behind your head again. And then we'll take one leg up to tabletop, which means that your knee is stacked over your hip and your foot comes straight out from your knee. And then take the other leg up as well. And now we'll add your chest lift in. So we'll exhale, lift the head and chest up. But this time we'll inhale, lower back down. Exhale, lift. And inhale, lower. And as you lift your head and chest up, I want you guys to focus on getting your shoulder blades lifted up off the mat, not just crunching the head down. Exhale, lift. And inhale, lower. As you exhale, watch your belly button sinking towards your spine. Good. Now pause with the head and chest lifted. Reach the arms long by your sides and start pumping your arms for 100. So we'll inhale through your nose and exhale out through your mouth. In through your nose, out through your mouth. Good. Keep breathing just like that. See if you can pump your arms without your head and chest moving. Right? It's just about creating more resistance for your abdominals. Continue to breathe here. For more of a challenge, you can reach your legs out long in the diagonal. Good. Hang there, you guys. One more inhale. Bend the legs in, lower your head and chest down, and drop those feet to the floor. Whew. Now from here, we're going to extend your legs long, and then take your arms up overhead for a roll up. So we'll inhale, float your hands over your face. Exhale, nod your chin towards your chest, and slowly roll up one vertebrae at a time, so that you pause in this like C-curve position. So you notice my arms and legs are both parallel to the floor here, and my back is rounded. And then we'll slowly roll back down, one vertebrae at a time, reaching your hands and your toes away from your head, and then reaching the hands and feet away from each other. Exhale, slowly peel up. Try not to use momentum as you sit up. I know that's the hardest part. Pausing in that spinal curved position. Feel the stretch in your back and hamstrings. And then slowly roll back down. Sequentially articulating one vertebrae at a time. And again, rolling back up. Good. Pausing here. This time we're going to take your hands to behind your head. And sit up tall, and my legs are still extended straight forward in front of me. If hands behind your head is a little bit tight on your shoulders, you can take your hands to your forehead as well. So from here, back up so you guys can see me a little bit better. So from here, we're going to exhale, rotate 2 times as you twist. Inhale through center, exhale, rotate to the other side. Inhale through center. So as you twist and rotate, feel your obliques engaging so that your rotation's coming from your abdominals. Now this exercise is really good for your posture because it will help increase upper back mobility, which we know is going to be especially important now that we're all working from home. And I don't know about you guys, but everyone's ergonomics are looking a little bit rough in our home offices, right? Let's do one more on each side. Inhale through center. Last time. Good. Coming back through center, we're going to stretch your arms forward again. Now we're going to separate your feet about mat width apart and flex the feet. Imagine you're sitting up against a wall and your back is perfectly flat. From here, you'll nod your chin to your chest and slowly roll forward one vertebrae at a time, coming back into that C shape with the spine. And then try and reach your hands past your feet for a little bit of a hamstring stretch. And then slowly stack yourself back up to vertical, one vertebrae at a time. Nod your chin to your chest and roll forward. Feel how when you roll forward, you get that nice stretch in your low back. And then when you can't roll forward anymore, think of hinging from your hips to reach your hands past your feet. And then from here, you should feel more of a stretch in your hamstrings. And then slowly stack back up again. And let's do one more here. Nodding your chin down, rounding forward, scooping through the belly, and then reach your hands past your feet. Feel that nice big stretch in your hamstrings. Sink your shoulders away from your ears and stack yourself back up. Now from here, we're gonna roll, got a wild ponytail. Roll into your side so that you can still see the camera. And I want you guys to set yourself up in like a little side plank position with your pelvis down. So for me, that means my right elbow is stacked underneath my right shoulder. My head's reaching away from my hips, and my feet are still stacked. Now from here, I'm just gonna float my pelvis up off the floor, and then I'll lift my knee up to the sky for a clamshell, where you feel that top glute and the bottom glute work, and then lower your knee back down. So we exhale, lift the knee up, focus on squeezing your glutes and your abdominals together, and then lower your knee down. Exhale, lift, and back down. Now, if this is just tough on your shoulder and doesn't feel that great, you can always lower your hips back to the mat and continue moving the legs. So you'll still get work in your glutes. And then when you're ready to jump back into the plank, jump back in, right? Everyone's gonna be at a different level, so you have to choose which version of the exercise makes the most sense for your body today. Good. Now we're gonna pause with your knee lifted, and we'll pulse your knee up to the sky. But I only want you to pulse your knee up as fast as you can keep your pelvis still. So what we want to avoid is your pelvis rocking up towards the sky as you pulse. I like to think of pressing my pelvis forward, at least my top hip forward, as I pulse the knee up. Try and stay lifted through the bottom shoulder for one more, and then lower the hips all the way down. From here, we're gonna lay flat on your side, and I just extended my top arm straight, so my arm's extended, palm face up towards the sky. Rest your ear on your bicep, point your top hand into the floor, and extend both legs long. And we're gonna dorsiflex your feet, which means pull your toes to your shins. I wish you guys could see my feet. From here, press into the mat, try and lift both legs up off the floor. Should feel your side obliques kick on again, and then lower both legs down. So as you exhale to lift the legs up, try and let your head and neck be heavy. And think about pausing for just a second while your legs are lifted so you really get to feel those obliques. And again, lifting up and back down. And again, we're co-contracting the front and the back of the body together here to create stability through the spine. Good. Last one here. Pause with the legs down. Bend your top foot and plant it on the floor. Now keeping your bottom foot flexed, toes to shins, lift your bottom leg up, feel your inner thigh, and then lower your leg back down. Exhale, lift your leg up, feel your adductors, those are your inner thigh muscles, and lower back down. Now, right here, I want you to focus on keeping like a little mouse hole size space between your waist and the mat. And that space is going to make this more effective for both your inner thigh and your abdominals. So even if you can't lift your leg up quite as high, that's okay. Good. Now we'll pause with your leg lifted on this next one and do little pulses, pulsing your foot up and up and up. Hang in there, you guys. Feel the burn on that inner thigh. Good. For 3 and 2 and 1, and relax that leg down. Now from here, I want you to just bend your knees, and you'll sit yourselves up. We're gonna do a little lateral flexion. So keeping the legs folded however is comfortable. You can sit crisscross opposites too if that's more comfortable. Hands gonna go on your ankle, and then we'll stretch your top hand up and over to the side. Stretch out those bottom obliques that had to work so hard in that side plank. And then stack yourself back up, and we'll stretch in the other direction. Good, using the breath here. One more time, stretching in the opposite direction, reaching the hand and the hip away from each other so you get this nice long stretching line from the hand to the hip. And then go ahead and relax that arm down. We'll swing your legs around to the other side, and then we'll do the whole thing on the other side. So we'll start with your side plank. So forearm goes on the ground, knees are stacked. We'll have the elbows stacked directly under the shoulder, and then the head, chest, and pelvis in one straight line. From here, heels together, lift your hips up, lift your top knee to the sky, feel the bottom and the top glute working together, and then lower the knee back down. So we exhale to lift up, and inhale, lower. Remember, if the side plank gets tough on your shoulder, you can always lower your hips down and continue the clamshell with the knee down. But for more of a challenge, lift those hips up, really fight for it. We have to push just a little bit harder without any resistance, right? It's just you and gravity. Now pause with your hip lifted, pulse the knee up to the sky. And just like we did on the other side, I only want you to pulse your knee up as fast as you can keep your pelvis stable and still. Good, guys. 3 more for 3 and 2 and 1, and relax the leg down. We'll extend your bottom arm long. I have my palm turned up towards the sky so I can rest my ear on my bicep. Top hands press into the floor, and then we'll extend both legs. Now from here, let your head be heavy and try and lift both legs up off the floor, contracting the abs and the back muscles, and then lower the legs back down. Try and keep the ankle bones pressed together as you lift up, so you get to a little bit from the inner thigh on the bottom leg as well. Exhale, lift the legs up, and inhale, lower them with control, opposed to just letting them flop down. Good, and again, lifting up, squeezing from those obliques, and lower. And the last one, pause and hold at the top, really make those abs work, and then relax the legs down. We're gonna bend your bottom leg and plant your foot on the floor in front of your bottom leg, and then keep your foot flexed, right? So my left leg is my straight leg, toes to shin still, keeping the hand pressed. We'll try and lift the waist up off the mat so there's like a little bit of space here. I guess you can't really see my shirt. And then try and lift your bottom leg up off the floor, and then lower it back down. Again, exhale, lift it up, and inhale, lower back down. As you lift, think of pausing at the top for just a second. Really feel your inner thigh engage, and then lower your leg. Exhale, lift, and inhale down. And again, lift it up, and back down. Now we'll pause in the lifted position on this last one here, and then pulse your foot up, and up, and up. Think of really pausing in that top position. Challenge your inner thigh. Try and keep your legs straight. And 2, and 1, and relax both legs down. Now from here, we'll just fold the legs in, and we'll sit all the way up for your mermaid stretch on the other side. So my knees are just folded here. You can sit crisscross applesauce if that's more comfortable. One hand goes on the knee, and then we'll stretch your arm up and over for a nice big side body stretch. So send energy from the fingers away from your hip. Really feel the length of the arm. And then we'll take the counter stretch, hand finds the mat, laterally flex up and over. And I'm thinking about pulling this side of my rib cage away from my hand that's on the floor. And then we'll take that counter stretch again on the other side. Stretching your hand away from your hip, feel this nice big side body stretch. And then we'll go ahead and lay flat on our bellies for some prone work. So prone exercises are exercises that are done on your belly, and they're really important for what we call your posterior chain, which is like all your back muscles, which are, like I mentioned earlier, especially important for posture. So I want you guys to lay flat, and you're going to extend your arms and legs away from you in like an X shape. And then from here, press your pubic bone into the floor by squeezing your glutes, and we're gonna lift your arms and legs up off the floor together. Now pull the elbows in back by your sides, squeeze your lat muscles behind your shoulder blades, and then extend the arms and lower everything back down. So everything will lift up, elbows will pull in tight, squeeze down and back, and then extend the arms and legs together. And again, lift everything up, pull the elbows in, see if you can get your chest lifted a little bit higher, and lower back down. And again, lift and squeeze the shoulder blades back in together, and lower. Last time, lift and squeeze. See if you can hold at the top, and lift up a little bit higher, and a little bit higher, and a little bit higher, and relax everything down. Now from here, go ahead and just press yourself back into a little child's pose stretch. So stretch the arms away from your sits bones. Reach your butt bones down to your heels, and let your chest just sink through your shoulders here. Feel the nice stretch in maybe the chest and shoulders, maybe in your low back as well. And then we're gonna come up onto your hands and knees in what we call quadruped or 4-point kneeling. So in this position, I want you guys to make sure that your hands are right under your shoulders and your knees are right underneath your hips. And then if your elbows are like mine and they hyperextend, see how they can go like past straight? I want you to soften your elbows just a little bit. And we'll do a little cat-cow stretch. So exhale, round your back up towards the sky like an angry cat, letting your head fall towards the floor. And then inhale and arch your chest towards the floor so you just let your head float along for the ride here. So we'll round your back to the floor. And then reach your tailbone back and away. And again, rounding down, pressing your hands into the floor as you lift your back up to the sky. And one more time, arching the chest down. Beautiful. Now from here, we're going to go into what we call a little bird dog, but we're going to build into it. So I want you to extend your right leg back behind you, and then squeeze your right butt cheek and lift your leg up, and then lower your leg back down. So as you squeeze and lift, we want to try and keep your weight equal in your body between your right hand and your left hand, because your right hand and your left knee, because your left hand is going to come off the floor. So reach your left arm overhead, away from your foot, and then tap the hand and the foot to the floor. So arm and leg lift, and arm and leg lower. And again, arm and leg lift. Now this time, instead of lowering all the way down, see if you can tap your elbow and your knee together in front of your belly button, and then reach your arm and leg away from each other. Elbow and knee pull in, big exhale. And then arm and leg reach away. Good, one more time. Elbow and knee pull in. Hand and foot reach away. Now we're gonna open your arm and leg out into a T out to the side, and then bring everything back in towards each other. So right leg opens to the right, left arm opens to the left, and then everything pulls back in. So this should feel challenging on your core and on your balance, and especially on that back glute muscle. Yeah, so for me, my right leg. Good. And then go ahead and rest the arm and leg down, and we'll switch sides. So from here, extend your left leg behind you. Right hand stays on the floor. We're trying to get your weight equal between your left hand and your right knee. So know that that's where we're going. Lift the right leg up. Feel that left glute muscle kick on, and then lower the leg down. And I only really want you to lift your leg as high as you can keep your low back still. So what we want to avoid is like really arching your back. Think about pulling your abs in like if you were doing a plank the whole time. Yeah? Good job, guys. Hang in there. Now reach the arm and leg out. Lift the arm and leg up together, and tap the arm and leg back down. Arm and leg lift, and arm and leg lower. Last time. Arm and leg lift. Tap your elbow and your knee together as you round your back to the sky, and then reach your arm and leg away. Arm and leg pull in, and arm and leg reach away. And again, pull it in, and away, and last time, pull it in, and reach the arm and leg away. Now we're gonna open the arm and leg out to the side, and then bring the arm and leg back in. Open out to the side, and back in. Good, hang in there. So again, this one's gonna challenge your balance, and your core, and your glutes, right? All the things we want to be challenged. Last one here. And then relax the arm and the leg down, and we'll sit back in that rest position, your child's pose, one more time. See if you can walk your hands a little bit further away and really sink down in your chest and shoulders. Good. And then from here, we'll just do a little stretching for our cool down. So I want you guys to lay flat on your backs again, in either direction, that was comfortable for you. I'm trying to chop my head up here. Okay, so from here, hug your right knee in towards your chest. Just folding at your hip, and then we're going to extend your left leg long and hug your right knee across your body towards your left shoulder. Feel how you get a nice stretch in your right glute muscle. So knee to opposite shoulder. So you should feel this one in your glute. If you've been doing a lot of sitting lately, which I would imagine most people have, or like a lot of walking that you don't usually do, really important to keep your glutes limber. And then from here, we're gonna do a hamstring stretch. So we'll put your hands behind your thigh and then extend your toes to the ceiling. Now, what you wanna feel is a stretch on the back of this lower leg or your hamstring. So your goal is to either have your hands behind your hamstring and your leg straight, or on your calf or ankle. And we're trying to pull the leg towards your body. Now, if you find your leg is like shaking uncontrollably like this, that's really normal, and it happens. It's just your body kind of adapting to new movement. yeah? And then the last stretch we're gonna do here, we're gonna bend at the right knee, stack your left foot up, and then cross your right ankle over your left knee, and press your knee open. Now, if you feel a stretch here in your right hip, stay there. If you need a deeper stretch, we're gonna hug that left leg in, keeping the foot flexed, hug the left leg in, and then I use my, my right elbow to press my right knee open, so you feel the stretch in your right piriformis muscle. Again, another muscle that gets pretty sassy when you do a lot of sitting or standing. Sounds like us right now, right? And then we'll stretch the other side out. So first things first, hug your left knee in towards your chest, extend your right leg long, hug your right knee, or excuse me, your left knee across your body towards your right shoulder. So we want to feel this stretch in that left glute max muscle. Try and sink your shoulders away from your ears. See if you can pull a little bit deeper into that stretch with each exhale. Good. And then from here, we'll do your hamstring stretch. So grab on behind that left thigh, straighten your left toes to the sky, and we're gonna try and grab either behind your hamstring or behind your calf and ankle. Where I want you to avoid grabbing is behind your knee. There's a lot of veins and arteries and nerves that pass through there, and it can feel pretty irritating. And then remember, if your foot is shaking or if your leg is shaking in this hamstring stretch, that's incredibly common with Pilates. And then we'll bend your bottom leg, bend your left leg, cross your ankle over your knee, and flex your foot. So pull your left toes towards your left shin, press your knee open with your left hand, feel the stretch in your left glute. If you want more of a stretch or a deeper stretch, hug your bottom leg in, and then use your elbow to press your knee open. Take a few deep breaths here. See if you can sink a little bit further into that stretch with each exhale. Good job. And then go ahead and walk the feet to the floor. And then from here, we're gonna do one last roll up. So extend your legs and reach your arms long. Inhale, float your hands over your face. Exhale, nod your chin to your chest. Scoop through your belly and roll all the way up. And then go ahead and just turn and find yourself in like a comfortable crisscross applesauce kind of position. You can let your arms just fall heavy here and close your eyes and just kind of tune into how you're feeling now that you've moved your body, right? So focus on inhaling through your nose. And as you exhale, sink your shoulders away from your ears. Good. And again, inhale. This time, roll your shoulders up and in towards your ears and pull them down and back. And again, roll them up, down and back. One more time, up, down, and back. And then we'll keep your shoulders down and back until we see you again Wednesday at 11 o'clock. I hope you guys enjoyed. This has been so wonderful. Thanks for having me. Feel free to shoot some comments about any moves that you'd like to see too in the future, yeah? Or any muscle groups or anything like that. I'm open to suggestions, okay? Bye guys, have a great day.